Tonight on the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
Ask your wife, better life.
We're cooking up some curry.
Tonight I'm bringing the power couple.
And now, the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
It is May 20th, 2019, and we are bringing the podcast to you all the way.
And I'm bringing the milkshake to you. Ooh.
You are.
I lost the competition last week. Clint really put a beating on me on the gaming trivia.
I did.
And the competition loser had to wear a dress. It is really hard to find a dress in my size. I tell you what. You have to go to the maternity section. You know what I'm saying? And this thing is like complete stretchy.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that is. But it looks comfy.
Beautiful.
That's
It
what
looks
matters.
Oh, hey, I put it on, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I instantly thought, I now understand. That's why girls like dresses. I'm just free. If I was commando, man, it'd be amazing.
That's awesome. Well, we just want to let you guys know we live in the Oklahoma state, and we are battling tornadoes, but we're
Go
here.
Cowboys.
We're here for everybody, and he means Stillwater Cowboys, not Dallas Cowboys.
Well, you said Oklahoma State, so.
Oh, gotcha. Anyway, so we're fighting tornadoes for you. We're dedicated. We're here. So where you be? Give us a hello in the chat.
Yeah.
Go. Gonna go ahead and get this show started.
Let's do it.
So yeah, got a lot going on tonight. Ryan's gonna be hitting us up with some tips and tricks, tips for being a dad gamer, and kind of what we can do to increase our odds of getting a game when we want to. And then
we're not talking about these tips either.
and then he's also going to be bringing some tricks for the old Mortal Kombat 11, which looks freaking sweet. If you've seen any of those fatalities, they're definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
They're fatalicious.
Fatalicious. I like that. And then I'm going to be bringing you, of course, the news of the week. We got some interesting.
Of course, you're going to be bringing, of course, the news because you're the news guy.
Well, I've been doing
the way that felt.
Well, I've been doing the news quite a bit lately, which is fine.
Okay, I'll do the news. I'll do the news next time. I don't want your head to get big.
No, I'm fine with it. It's just kind of a habit we've gotten into, so that's why I said.
I got
of
you.
Course. So.
Yeah.
And then Hunter's going to be wrapping up the night with a good dish that you can cook for dinner, and never go hungry again. Never go hungry again. So anyway, let's roll on over into Ryan's segment for the night.
Make sure you hand signal.
In a world of Easter eggs and cheats, it's time for what they don't want you to know.
All right, guys. Tonight I've got two different kind of tips for you and tricks, if you wanna call it that.
Okay.
One is going to be the norm, where we're talking about games, which is going to be Mortal Kombat 11, and this is kind of like not like how to be the best Mortal Kombat player. This is like how to survive once you get in there, so you don't just get trashed by the guys who have never stopped playing since they were on, all the way back in the old consoles, and they just kept playing the whole time, so they're just like epic. You know what I'm saying? What is all this?
That's the hand movements. The hand movements. We're doing hand movements for him.
Yeah,
to
you
get
know
him
what I
pumped for
used
the
to
show.
you know what I used to hate, and I've heard that there's less of it, but you still get it even to this day. Is like those certain moves that kind of catch you in this little rhythm. You know what I mean? Like somebody will be hitting that sweep on you, whop, 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 and you just
there's nothing you
pissed
can
off.
do.
Ah, man, just so
Call
mad.
the button spammer.
I used to hate those guys. Anyways, that's gotten a little bit better, but I'm going to hit these. This top 10 tricks, I think it is, or tips, are basically how to get you to a playable level, not to make you a master, okay?
Okay.
So this is starting at the basics for the new game.
Okay.
Tip number one
So
for
you're
you guys.
you're hitting up Mortal Kombat first?
Yes, Mortal Kombat first.
Okay.
It's going to be, tip number one is going to be make use of quick combo references, guys. This is a have-to. Getting used to the fast-paced mechanics takes time, and you'll often feel pressured to rely on the basic simple kicks, punches, grabs. You'll have a much easier time if you check the quick reference combos and set them up so you got them memorized in your head, because those combos are going to be game changers for you.
Mm-hmm.
Tip number two is going to be learn fatal blows, not just all the time, but fatal blows are key when you're falling behind to kind of shift the pace of the fight or the match back the other direction. Fatal blows, a crushing move that you can use when your health bar is low. That's when it comes up. Can feel cheap, but there's no getting around it. You've got to use them.
Okay.
At some point, it says it feels like the game is punishing you for winning. And it probably pisses some people off, but oh well, that's the way the game's made, and it's actually designed that way so the fight doesn't just get completely, kind of like we were talking about, swashed the other way, right?
Mm-hmm.
To where one guy's kind of just doing that thing, and then so at a certain point, you kind of get an opportunity to flip the script, so you don't get trapped in that rhythm. That's kind of what this is brought in for. And so it's in there for a reason. Don't feel cheap using it. You will regret not using it. Okay.
Gotcha.
I wish we had that one back in the day for sure.
Yeah. So it kind of keeps a rhythm to the game that you're not always going to be counted out for the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
It still sounds like it's a very timing based situation. You got to time those things just right for it to work, if that makes sense. But it is something that is stronger than just your normal combos or normal moves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 3. Now this is different for me. Now, guys, remember, we like to give tips on games we play, but we're also delirious dads, so we don't play every game. So we also give tips on games we don't play.
Gotcha.
Usually we stick to reviews on games we actually play. But on tips and tricks, we'll include whatever is kind of popular at the time, and so it's going to be relevant to you guys. And if you guys have any games you want some tips on or some news on specifically, or consoles or any kind of things, write us and let us know. We want to give you what you want, if that makes sense. This is a show for you guys.
And I've got the video playing, but I'm actually going to take it off now because the video's over. But that whole time you were talking, I just went ahead and threw up the trailer for you. So I could check out the sweet graphics.
Oh, it looks amazing.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, some brutal fatalities. So if you don't like gore, sorry.
Yep.
Fatality.
That's what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen.
So here's something that's kind of different here from some of the older games, in my opinion at least.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played in a couple generations. I did try out one a few, I don't know what you call it episodes, but a few games back.
Mm-hmm.
But this says use the environment to your advantage. I don't remember really being able to use the environment to my advantage last time I played Mortal Kombat, so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It says every stage has several interactive elements that can help you deal extra damage or gain better positioning. They usually take the form of a crate hanging on the side of a ship or a spear sticking out of the ground. Press the right bumper. When prompted, you'll see it below your health bar when you're next to the item, and your character will automatically pick up or jump off of this thing easily. So it's kind of and it's different for each map, each arena that you're battling in.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't remember. I remember you could bust through walls and things like that, but I didn't remember actually picking up items and smashing.
Right, and busting through the walls weren't an advantage. It was kind of a cool part of the game.
Right, it was just like
if I remember right.
Yeah.
Like a cinematic.
It was like another layer to go to a different background, so to speak.
Yeah, like could you bust through the floor sometimes too, if I remember right?
Yeah.
Like you'd fall to another level. Yep, that's what I thought I remember too.
I think they introduced that in like Mortal Kombat 3, maybe.
Okay.
Like on the old 2D, but then they've implemented it into the 3D version too.
Okay. Now this next one is number 4. It says mix up moves when fighting the computer. Okay, this is saying that actually you want to mix your moves up more when fighting the computer because of the way the AIs happen to be programmed.
Okay.
If you use the same moves, they kind of learn what you're doing even more than a human does. They don't fall into that rhythm that a regular player does. They have a different speed and reaction and things like that.
Okay.
So it says fighting an AI-controlled opponent is nothing like fighting a real person. The computer characters can still pose a stiff challenge, especially on the harder difficulties later in the story, of course. To help make those fights easier, mix up a variety of moves that you use. It's easy to rely on one or two moves right away, especially hefty ones like jump kick. But the computer learns patterns fast, blocking your moves and then retaliating. I don't even know what that word was. Retaliating. Am I even saying that word right? Sounds weird.
Retaliating? Yeah, you said it right.
Retaliating against you. Okay, it says even if you want to rely on your favorite move or two, change how and when you use them. It'll make a huge difference against the AIs.
That's cool. I've seen this in other games too. I just downloaded For Honor because it was free.
Okay.
And I never played it. I tried it out the other day, and I was getting my butt kicked by this boss that was a AI, and I could not figure it out. Well, there's a mechanic in there where you have 3 options you can change your stance to with your weapon. You can go up, to the side, or switch it over to the other side.
Okay.
And the goal is you try to switch it over as fast as you can and swing so that they can't get it. But he was just blocking everything, so I started just spamming around with my, like going in a circle with my directional. So he was like, I was like sitting there with my weapon, like throwing it around, and then I just kept smacking him because he couldn't adjust to what the heck I was doing. So just kept going around in a circle. Nice. So I'm sure I could probably tick some people off online playing against him doing that. But when I was playing AI, I didn't care. I was just freaking going crazy.
Hey, people have never cared. On those fighting games like Tekken, Mortal Kombat, people don't care. Yeah. They don't care if you're the most annoying person in the world. It's about winning.
It's a button smasher. It's in finesse. Like if you got the finesse and you can play that way, it works.
Yep.
Yeah, you're there to crush faces.
It's obvious, number 5, but use the tutorial. Says, there's a lot of new things in Mortal Kombat, especially if you haven't played for a couple generations, and the tutorial is a have-to. You're going to learn a lot from the tutorial, and kind of bouncing off of use the tutorial is they really recommend playing through the story mode, which, back in the day there was no story mode in Mortal Kombat. There was the story of the fights, right? But now there's an actual story that you go through, and then there's fights along the way. And so now it's saying, play the story mode because you're going to get to fight with most of the characters that are available online, and you're going to come against unique fighters and unique styles, and it'll pretty much prep you. By the time you're done with the story mode, it's 5 hours, so it's not real long. You'll be pretty much ready to step in and not just get your butt handed to you.
Right.
So he says, play the story mode first. It's fun anyways, and it's part of the game that you paid for. I agree with that. I understand, guys, if you like online, but even like Call of Duty or something like that, when I buy it, I always still play the story mode, even though they're not really that great anymore. It's part of what I bought, so I'm gonna get the best out of it. And
those NPCs are just a good way to get warmed up too, just to kind of learn the style. I'm sure each version changes a little bit.
Definitely. Number 7 says play aggressively defensive. It's kind of an interesting way to put that. It says Mortal Kombat 11 is all about close quarters combat. Projectiles aren't as effective as combos. And combos are usually started when you're right up to the opponent's face. Instead of just rushing in, try getting right up to your enemy's face with blocks. Learn what they rely on most and match it. Once you block them, follow up with a grab or hit. This will help you to deal heavy damage rather than just taking small hits or getting small damage.
Kind of makes you wonder for like the classic guys like Sub-Zero and Scorpion, that kind of stuff. They have projectiles they throw at you, or ranged attacks.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've reviewed on it, the game is set up not to be like only for up close, but it's designed so that your ranged attacks have a lot more to do with timing, or when your opponent's stunned, or it's just not so. There's not so many openings for it, so it takes a little bit more of that kind of skill and setups. Number 8. I think that one's an obvious. It says, ignore the grind if you can. Any of those kind of fighting games, you don't want to just get into that little punch, little kick, just in there, because what happens? Yeah, it doesn't work. You got to get a rhythm going, and you got to kind of take over things, if that makes sense.
Work those combos.
Yep, work those combos and all the other tips that we set up. So I think ignore the grind is really just saying, listen to everything else I just said. I said top 8. There's actually, or top 10 tips. There's 8 tips. So boom, we're there. Let us know if you guys think those tips were any good. If you've wanted to try the Mortal Kombat, I can tell you guys that it's gotten great reviews. Everybody loves it. A lot of people are getting back into it that haven't played those style games for a while, you know, because for me, I've had years of not playing those style games. And watching the preview and some gameplay that I've seen online, it's kind of got me like, might want to get in on some of that. You know what I mean? Because it's just come a long ways.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played any of the newer ones, so to get back into it would be a lot of fun. So
that's awesome. I look forward to that.
Really cool.
That's cool. Speaking of, just to interrupt real quick, tips and tricks. If you guys watching have noticed, nothing to do with gaming, but if I'm looking up to the right, I keep looking out my window to make sure my trees outside are still swaying. There's a reason for that. If you're not around, if you haven't grown up in Oklahoma, if there's rain and some trees swaying outside, you're usually pretty good. If it's dead and nothing's happening, that's a warning sign that, there might be a tornado coming through pretty soon. So,
especially if they were just swaying a lot. And then went to nothing.
Dead, yeah.
You know, the color kind of changes a little bit, too, and it gets a little eerie feeling in your stomach, like,
Yep, then it's time to clench the butt cheeks and run for hiding.
So if you're not from Oklahoma and you're visiting, take that tip and use it as a trick.
Yes.
Yes.
For survival.
I agree.
Hey, and if the tornado is coming your way and you are in our area, either take us on your mobile phone and watch us, or don't watch us at all. We will still be on Facebook later. You don't have to watch us live. We don't want your blood on our hands, you know?
Yeah. Your wife's busting through the door. Honey, we need to get in the shelter now. It's all right.
Yeah. Delirious Dads are on, babe.
Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast, woman.
All right, guys. This is the tips here that have to do with being a gaming dad. They're not about games. It's about gaming and being a dad. Delirious Dads Gaming, okay? That's what we're talking about on this next portion. I'm going to say tip number 1, which we've probably talked about this episode 1. So if you've been listening to us from the beginning, you heard us mention a couple of these things, but a lot of our listeners have not been all the way back to the beginning. A lot of them started in, and we've gotten better and better quality-wise, sound-wise, and they're just kind of picking up where we're at.
Right.
So, tip number 1, play at night, or when your wife isn't wanting to do something with you. Play when time is free. If your wife is gone at the grocery store, jump on the game. If you know she's going to be going to the grocery store, do whatever you need to do while she's there. That way, when she's gone, you can get on the game, and there's no worries. Does that make sense? So, utilize your time properly. There is time to game when you're a dad and a husband. Just don't try to game every time your wife wants family time, because you're going to put a bad taste in her mouth about gaming.
Well, like on the shopping thing, you could even offer, hey, if I go with you to shop, make it easier for you, would you mind if I play some games later? You can even do that, you know. So that little deal in the bargain.
Clinton is an ultimatum type of man.
I am.
I've noticed that since I've been around him.
I like to make deals. I'm a deal maker.
I'm a deal maker too. You know, we probably kind of bred that in each other when we were younger, because me and Clint have always been that. You know, hey, let's make a deal, man. Even with each other. No, okay, let's do that. Yeah.
Used to do it with my dad. Like, hey, I'll do this, this, and this if you'll let me get a video game. What do I got to do to earn that video game? You see?
Yeah.
So
I used to do that to my dad. I said, hey, you know, if I do the dishes and mow the lawn, can I do this? He says, no, but you can stay in the house and eat my food.
My dad used to say, what do you want, a brownie button for doing what you're supposed to do?
Right,
I
exactly.
say,
something like that.
Yeah.
I do want a brownie button.
Yeah, because I can be that. I can be that kid that doesn't do what I'm supposed to do.
That's right.
How'd you like that?
Right.
You want me to turn the tables on you?
You know what? I love a brownie button. Thanks for asking.
I really love brownies.
My parents were great parents. They got me tons of stuff, but they never it seemed like chores were chores, and you do them because we ask you to do them. There's no Usually, and I had friends and cousins that were like, I got allowance, you know, and I get this much, and we didn't. I mean, but it's not like my parents never gave me anything. I don't want you guys to think that. Like they paid
no,
my
you're
gas
saying they just didn't
Yeah.
connect the two. They didn't say if you do this, you get this. Yeah, I get what you're
No,
saying.
doing that was a part of living under my dad's roof.
Now, usually for me, it was more of sports related. If I did the extra things for sports, that was my dad's weak spot. If it was like taking out the trash, things like that, no, because he didn't really care that much. But if I could get him on, you know, hey, I'll go run that extra couple miles with you tonight. So, you know,
what a chump.
those kinds of things.
You're a dirty dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work
My dad wouldn't go for that. I mean, if you don't want to be a winner, that's fine. Sit on your butt. That's what my dad would say for sure.
My dad couldn't stand it.
That's funny. Okay, number 2. Guys, this is important. If you're a gamer and you want to continue to be a gamer and you have kids, play games with your kids as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And don't just play games with your kids as soon as possible. Play games with them as much as possible. And when I say as much as possible, I don't mean every second you can. I mean every second you can that you're going to be gaming. Does that make sense? And so if you're going to be gaming, try to play games with your kids. There's going to be plenty of times as dads, we play after the kids go to sleep. So save your, the games that you have to yourself, single-player games or whatever that you care about a ton. Play those at night when your kids are asleep. But during the day, the win is going to be to get your kids to like gaming, because you're going to find out playing with your kids on a game is as fun as any friend that you have or anything like that, especially as they get a little older and they're able to get competitive. And you're going to see, we didn't start with these kind of games at a young age. We started with a lot more low-scale games. When kids start with these kind of games at a young age, they're like 8 or 9, and they're beasts. And they're probably going to be kicking your butt because they're going to have more time to play than you do. So it doesn't matter that they're young. You're going to have a blast playing with them. They're going to be great for co-op story games, things like that. And a subcategory to that tip, what I'd say, pick some games that they want to play. Don't force your daughter to play Call of Duty if she's not interested.
Right.
Or, Alien Wrecking Ground or whatever it is, Mortal Kombat. If she loves it, more power to you. If she doesn't, find some Minecraft. Find something else that she is into or he is into that actually gets... Because the goal is to get them into gaming. They're going to end up growing into other games and liking what you like. They're your kid, if that makes sense. But in the beginning, you don't want to make them play a game that they think is boring or is too hard, or they're going to think gaming sucks. They're not even going to want to do it.
And I think you'll come to find as a father, like, if you are sitting there, even if you're not completely interested in that game, if your kid's having fun, you're probably going to have fun too. Yeah.
I get on play some Roblox with my daughter. It's a phone game. It's kind of like Minecraft, but you don't build. Everything's like pre-built. And she loves it because it's the easiest game for her to play. She likes Minecraft a little bit too, and she likes Portal. But Portal, we played till we got to a level like it's out of her range now. Like she barely can beat it, so she doesn't like it as much now. And Crackdown, she likes only if she's climbing buildings. But if bad guys come around, she hands me the controller. I clear out the area, then she just gets to jump and chase orbs. That's cool. I have a blast doing that with her, and it doesn't have to be my game to be fun.
Right.
Her games are definitely fun.
What age did you start her at? Because I'm kind of curious. Like, I've tried with Claire with, like, regular Nintendo. I busted out, like, a car game and some different things, but she doesn't really... Of course, this was probably 3 months ago, so I could probably try again because she's developed already so much more. But
I tried when Rory was, like, 2.
Uh-huh.
And then I tried when she was 3.
Uh-huh.
And then I tried Connect when she was 4. She had a little bit of fun with it. We had, like, some Connectimals, little animal games and Connect Adventures, and she liked the tigers, but she didn't understand how to play. And then when she was like probably about later part of 4, I started getting her to like some phone games. That was what worked for me. She started liking some phone games that we play together, and then I started introducing her a little bit to Minecraft because she had some other friends that talk about Minecraft at church. So she was kind of interested in it. And so we tried a little Minecraft, and she was horrible at it. She could just, look like me playing Call of Duty, just looking all over the place. Yeah. And then, so that would actually frustrate her. So then she started playing this game, Roblox, on the phone. And that actually taught her how to look and move at the same time. She got used to it. It's just a little bit easier than Minecraft, not quite as sensitive. And then next time we jumped on, like, Crackdown or whatever, this is when she was 5, right? Next time we jumped on Crackdown or Portal, she got it down. She can do it now. She can look where she's going. She can move. She can jump and grab ledges, and it's just like switch flipped.
So you really just kind of threw her right into the 3D space.
It makes me think. It makes me think of. I played Crash Bandicoot with my dad and Tomb Raider, and he would let me take over for a little bit, but he must have loved me because I can't imagine how painful it would be to watch me try to play at that age Tomb Raider, where all the platforming and jumping and...
Like, God, this kid doesn't have it.
Gotta be rough. I'd probably be in one level for like hours.
Even just Minecraft drove me crazy. We never made it past the tutorial. I mean, in the beginning when we were playing, and she's just like looking her head down underwater, I'm like, look up. She's looking straight up. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you can't get mad though, So you're like, okay,
Right.
yeah, it's cool, right? So all right, let's take a break.
Well, recently I hooked up some regular Nintendo stuff with Claire, and we played like a Minnie Mouse and things like that. Like there's a Minnie Mouse game, but then it was like she was like, "Where's Mickey? Where's Minnie?" And so it just more or less just got to like basically she was wanting to watch a cartoon, not play the game. But I'm thinking now, she's learning a lot more. She's got that whole iPhone tablet, scrolling thing down.
Yep.
Now, so I'm wondering if maybe she'll be able
Yeah,
to
it's just gonna-
figure out hitting the buttons a little more. That's the hard
it'll
part.
just take
I
some
think.
time. Now here's the next tip for you, right on that exact thing you're talking about. Tip number 3. You might pull that up on there, Clint, so people can see it. This is a Fisher-Price, and this thing is really selling a lot, and it makes sense. It's a Fisher-Price, I think it was called a Laugh and Learn. Let's see. Yeah, Fisher-Price Laugh and Learn controller. It's only $750, right? All the little kid toys that got all the little buttons that go zing and click and zoom and click and zing, zoom, 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 and make all the different little sounds. It's like that, but it's a controller. Looks like a 360 controller.
Okay.
It's got the knob on it. It's got buttons. It's got everything on there. So your kid, when they're 2, doesn't know they're not playing the game. Sorry, put them on the couch next to you with that, and then talk to them like they're doing it. Oh yeah, you're getting them, and you're running the controller, and you're just beating on dudes or whatever. You know what I mean? Jumping on stuff, play some Mario, whatever it is, and just they're gonna get pumped up and be like, I'm awesome at gaming. They're gonna fall in love with it before they even know how to game, and that's gonna drive them to like to play with you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Some people might call it manipulation. I call it love.
Yeah. Well, I got to correct you on that one statement, though. You said your 2-year-old's not going to know if they're playing. Well, there's a problem. There's a problem with that one statement. If you don't let your kid touch a PlayStation or Xbox controller and run the TV, like when you're watching like Netflix or YouTube, because Claire somehow figured out when she would touch the PlayStation controller and it would switch the shows on the TV, and she associated the buttons with instant feedback to the TV, and she figured it out. So I actually tried it with a keyboard one day. I gave her a keyboard and acted like it was plugged into the computer and put one in her lap, and I had one here at my desk. And she very quickly realized, I'm not controlling that, because we had previously let her mess with the controller on the TV, you see. And so she associated. She didn't know exactly what was supposed to happen, but she knew, nothing's happening when I hit this button. Weird.
So basically what Clint's saying is don't ruin it by showing her what really happens when she uses a regular controller.
Exactly. You gotta
start her
just
off with this controller.
Yeah. Don't let them experience the realness, because then all of a sudden they do the association.
My brother-in-law lets his kid just use a very, very dead PlayStation remote. Like,
Okay.
He just sits there and plays with it while he's actually playing the video game. So
Right.
it looks legit,
Yeah.
Right.
Some little kids though they don't, because there's no actual action to those buttons. When they're younger, they don't have as much. They'll get bored just with the controller itself. So this thing having some springiness to it. Yep. There's stimulation to it. Now some kids, that's perfectly fine. You're right. Hand them the controller that's not plugged in, and rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like we used to play with Caden. Remember all the time. He was plugged in, but we used to let him play on our what do you call it?
Oh, we did
Call of Duty. Yeah, we let him play with our profiles, but he would play on the practice range, and he would see all the people like Ryan and like you'd be playing. He'd see me and other people. He'd think he's playing online. He believed that for years.
Oh yeah.
We didn't want him to mess up our stats.
Yep. So he played the practice range. Yeah,
Yep.
that was actually pretty cool. It'd be nice if they would do that for other games.
Yep, for sure.
That's really cool.
All right. Next tip, number 4. Okay. This is what Clint hit on earlier. He just jumped right into it because he knows it works. Do a favor. What do you mean, Ryan? What do you mean do a favor? I mean, take out the trash. Do the dishes. Cook some dinner. If you really want a game, cook some dinner. Have her come home. She has dinner. Boom. She's relaxing. She's set up. All right, hey, babe, when we get done with dinner, it's cool if I jump on that game. Most of the time, the answer is going to be yes, because you have already laid down the groundwork. I like to look at a relationship like a bank. You make deposits, and then you make a withdrawal. And sometimes when it comes to gaming, you make that withdrawal right after you make the deposit. So it does work. Do some of the things she cares about.
It helps if you correlate with love languages too.
Oh yeah. So do the things she cares about. That's what I was getting into. If cooking the dinner means nothing to your wife, well, you just cooked her a free dinner, which can be good too. But if you're going to spend your time on the thing that matters to her, not the thing you think matters to her. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it takes talking about it. Sometimes it's just don't be a dunce and pay attention. You know what I mean? And you'll know what things matter.
I feel like that's the story of my life is don't be a dunce.
Yeah.
Because sometimes.
Do you know Mikhail's love languages?
Yeah, her love language is service.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Acts of service.
Acts of service.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever that's called.
Same thing, yeah.
I would.
Hey, I service my wife too, but that's not necessarily her love language.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I would charge all you delirious dads out there. You can take quick tests online, or there's even some books you can get that shows they really dig deep into showing your love languages, and if you figure that out with your wife and going through that and do that, I promise you, it will make your life easier.
It will.
Because you're not guessing all the time, so.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes if she may already know, because girls are more in touch with that stuff. Sometimes you can just kind of ask her, hey, what are the things that matter? Because it seems like I'm doing a lot, but you're not seeing it. It's probably because you're not doing the things that matter. Mm-hmm. And some guys will get this strict thing. Well, I'm working and I'm bringing home the bacon, so I'm doing everything I need to do. Get over it yourself, bro. Get over it. That's not going to bring a happy marriage. That's not going to win.
Money doesn't buy everything. That's
no.
For sure.
There's all kinds of douches out there who bring home the bacon and could care less about their wife and never show them any attention. And guess what? The wife goes with some other dude. So don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Okay, number 5. Play games around the kids that the wife likes. Now, I already mentioned play games that the kid likes, right? Mm-hmm. But as dads that there's a lot of times that we like dad games. Mm-hmm. We like fatalities. That's like my favorite part of Mortal Kombat is the fatality because it's gruesome. Mm-hmm. Okay? I like games like Left 4 Dead that are dark and scary, and Silent Hill and Resident Evil and these kind of games that your 5-year-old daughter might not be the best option to play with. And so I'm not saying you can't if that's your direction that you like to go.
I guess it depends on the house rules.
Do it. Exactly. House rules. But if your wife is bothered by those kind of games around the kid, don't push those games around the kid. Because the bad thing is your kid might like that game, and then your wife's even more pissed. So try a game that the wife's going to be happy with. It doesn't have to be a dumb game. There's all kinds of non-gory games that are super fun to play. We've already talked about some of them. So find another game and play your gory game later.
My wife seems to like artistic-looking games and ones that have good stories to them.
Yeah. And remember, evaluate your kid's maturity level as well. Mm-hmm. All ages aren't created equal necessarily.
No.
I mean, obviously for some games for sure, but use good judgment as well.
When I was young, I had some trouble sleeping in my bed.
Oh.
Because I was scaredy, when I was a little boy, and Dad, for some reason, still would just sit me with them and play some Resident Evil.
he was going to have you battle that fear.
Yeah, Mom would come in and she'd get pissed. She'd be like, "Turn that off! Like you're feeding him stuff that he does not need to see." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, he's all right. He didn't even understand what's going, And then,
you do.
I don't think I ever dreamed of zombies or whatever, but I still just didn't like being back there by myself, But
I'll tell you what I did. I played zombie games and everything, and I watched the old. Wow, I should be ashamed of myself. It's not called. What's it called? Night of the Living Dead, right?
Oh yeah,
that's the old original.
The old black and white.
Yes, I watched that with my parents, and we were kind of a horror movie family. We watched a lot of horror movies. And I watched a lot of movies that people would think are way worse than that. And for some reason, that movie kicked my butt. I had nightmares about it. I remember being scared to sleep alone, just thinking about the movie. It was just something so creepy about that thing.
It's because sometimes less is more. And also, there's something about black and white film.
That's what I was going to say.
Very eerie.
There's something that makes it very more, more realistic.
Well, don't we sometimes dream in black and white? Isn't that most of the time we dream in black and white?
We do dream in black and white often, but when we wake up and remember the dream, we associate
Associate
colors to
color.
what we were seeing. Yep.
That's creepy.
It is creepy.
That's
So my-
probably
Okay.
why it's creepier, because
That's-
it's maybe like HD in your.
You're
Matches the
awake.
dream.
Your awake brain's like, why are we back in dream world when I'm awake?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike said he liked the dress. I'm glad you like it, Mike. We talked about the milkshakes, bringing the boys to the yard. Everything's
boy.
going good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mike, you're the
Oh.
boy
Is
that
that-
was brought to the yard.
Is that
That's
chocolate milk or like vanilla milk?
It's Oreo.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
A little chunky.
Oh,
right.
goodness.
Rachel on the feed, she said, yes, the favors work well. They work wonders. Great idea. She's actually a gaming girl. Now, I know there's some dads out there that you just happen to have wives that love gaming. We don't want to hear from you. Okay? Just keep on your own.
Yep. You enjoy that life, though. You
yeah.
know, eat it up.
Okay, number 6, guys. Find some games the wife can play too. It's like that was on purpose, right?
Yeah.
Now, my wife is not way into gaming, but there's some games she likes. Some of them are like family trivia games, things like that, but it still gets us all around the gaming system and kind of helps integrate the family into what I like to do. We get together with friends and we'll play some games online with each other. Not only that, some games like Portal or puzzle games my wife likes. She likes that kind of stuff, challenging in that way. Takes her some getting used to for the controller stuff, but she likes to think through those kind of things. And so find a game your wife likes. She might not like Portal, but she might like something else that you didn't think she would. And you know, I'll tell you what, a really good game that people just love, especially families and wives, is that cooking game. Do you guys remember what that's called?
Overcooked.
Overcooked.
Overcooked,
Yes. Yes.
I
It's a
saw
really
they're
good game.
It's a
I
lot
saw
of
they're
fun.
coming. I saw they're coming out, or they may already came out with Overcooked 2.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's a
So
good
check
one.
out Overcooked. If your wife says, I don't like playing games, say, hey, babe, maybe we can try this game called Overcooked. It's kind of a high-paced, old-school feel, but very challenging as the levels go on. It's a lot of fun.
And for
And
you
it's
guys with
teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
and you
I
guys
find
with
my wife doesn't. Sorry, go ahead, Clinton.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I
No,
find my
go
wife
ahead.
doesn't. Yeah, who's going ahead? Who's going ahead?
You go ahead.
My wife
ahead.
doesn't seem to like games that they can get beat in very easily. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you're playing a game that works together, then usually that's the case. Now, if my wife finds a game she can beat me at, which is very rare, then she loves that game.
I'm sure.
And if I were to give you 3 guesses, the one game we played the most ever, I bet you guys couldn't guess it. I know you couldn't. It's an older game on the PlayStation now that PS4 runs.
Oh, it's
And
an
it's a
older
rugby game.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, and we got on there and messed around. We were looking at games one night, and we put it on, and I've shown her how good I was at it. I was like, "You want to try?" She's like, "Yeah." And I mean, she whipped me like 4 times in a row.
Dang.
I could not beat. I don't know if she unlocked something or what. She was beating me every time, and she just smiling ear to ear. You want to play again? I was like, "No, I don't.
No,
Dang.
We
I
don't
don't
play
wanna
that
play it.
anymore."
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So
That reminds me of the night me and you played Brawlhalla, and just no matter how hard we tried, we feel like we win one match and then we just get slaughtered
get
by
spanked.
all these different
Yep,
people. Yeah.
for sure.
Mike said, I don't bring milkshakes, I bring cream cheese.
Ooh.
So thanks for that, Mike.
Sour
This
cream
milk,
cheese.
this milk is curdled, is what he's saying.
Cream
all right.
cheese. Ooh.
Number seven, and the last one for my segment here is ask your wife if she wants to do something else, okay? Because what I've learned is a lot of times she doesn't, but she just wants to be asked. Because if you just jump on the game, you assume that she didn't want to hang out with you and watch a movie or watch a show or do
Right.
something else together. But if you ask, half the time they're going to think about it and be like, actually no, I'm actually ready for bed. So, you know what I
Go
mean?
for it.
Doesn't
Yeah.
yeah, just go for it. But thanks for asking. And then sometimes they'll go, yeah, I'd like to hang out and watch a show tonight. And then you go do that, and you win for next time. It matters. It adds up.
Uh-huh.
And so, and it's not like, in all reality, you guys might prefer, I don't mean you guys as in Clinton Hunter, I mean our listeners. There may be some guys out there that are like, I don't want to sit down and watch a show with my wife. I want to play a game. And there are times that you do feel that way because you've been working a bunch or whatever. But if you've been making the deposits along the way, then she's going to understand those days and be like, yeah, go game. I know you're kind of stressed out. Don't worry about me. I'll bring you a drink. Everything will be cool. And, you'll get food brought to you and everything because you've been working on that. But if you
Right.
leave game in that bitter zone, to where it's like, I game every chance I get, and I never ask you about anything you want to do, then it's like she associates gaming with bad stuff. And that's not what we want, guys. Not your kids and not your wives.
Yep.
My wife's love language is quality time, so that's huge. And one thing, too, that doesn't help me very much is my PlayStation's set up on our living room TV. That's really the only place I don't have, like, a monitor that I can set up and all that.
Right.
I mean, I could eventually, but... So because of that, I usually, when I'm gaming on the weekends, I'm a late night person, and my wife is not. So usually when Friday evenings or Saturday evenings, I'll say, hey, let's watch a show. What do you want to watch? And, she'll start watching it with me and pass out. And so then it's like, well, we were able to spend some quality time together, watch that show, and now it's time to hook up the PlayStation. And she has never woken up and been like, what are you doing? Even when she wakes up, she just kind of cuddles and then goes back to sleep,
Right, and you had a husband win because you were there for her. You chose her deal over your deal. Even though a lot of times you're right. They're going to go to sleep before you anyway, so you're going to get both. You're going to watch a show. She's not going to watch shows all night with you most of the time. You're going to watch a show, and then you're going to go, you know what I mean, play your game. You made me think of another thing just now, and I meant to add it to this list, and I forgot, so I'm glad you did. Number 8, and it'll be our final one, and I'll tell you it makes a big difference, especially if you really like, kind of gaming hardcore. When I do game, I like to be, like, immersive and into it. I like good picture, good size screen, or be close to my screen, or whatever, and I like surround sound. And I know you gamers out there like surround sound. There's some games that it's like you can't even play without surround sound, like DayZ, one of the games me and Clint play. You will be screwed if you play that game without surround sound. Get you a surround sound headset, guys. It is so worth it, because I've got surround sound in my living room, and I got everything all set up with big booming, subwoofer and all that stuff. That's great during the day, and when everybody's awake or they're gone, I can just relax, and I don't need the headset, right? But a lot of times you have a headset on anyways, right? Because you're talking to your friends. If you're a social gamer, get a surround sound set that has good bass to it and everything, and crank that baby up. You don't have to hear your wife because she's asleep, right? Or she's not with you. And you don't have to wake her. So it's the best of both worlds. It makes a big difference. Or, if your house is 2-story and whatever, and you got good insulation, you can crank up the sound and you'll be okay. But don't be booming right next to the room she's trying to sleep in where she hears it. That's just another thing that puts that little bit of a bitter flavor in her mouth, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
It may work to move the TV away from the wall that she sleeps.
Yes,
or
at least
I can't do that at all anyways.
Yeah.
Our house is so little, and then I have a base to my my surround sound, and it's in our bookshelf on our wall.
Oh, yeah.
Just
so
round.
like it sounds like the movie theater. It's sweet, but then when she goes to sleep, you can't. I have to watch my shows in the front room turned down and everything too, kind of. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Headset. That's the way to go.
Yep. Yep. For sure. Awesome.
Awesome tips, Ryan.
Yeah. Really
That's
good.
it.
Really good. Really good.
Good stuff.
Well, with that said, I think we need to inject ourselves with some news, boys.
Let's do it.
Newsboys. I like that band. I used to listen to them for years.
Well, not
Are you
that.
a Jesus freak?
Yeah.
not that band. News. Gaming news.
Oh, we're gonna inject ourselves with some news, boys. I get it.
News, boys. I should have paused that.
Ooh, this news is gonna be Eddie.
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie.
Leaks for Geeks. All right. Now for the fun part. No, just kidding. Ryan was fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
No offense taken. I know I'm the life of the show.
Never. No, I like to. I don't know if you guys have picked up on the show lately, but I like to give Ryan a hard time. Hunter too, but Ryan's just one of them guys that it's good to get him. It's good to get him tilted.
It's just rare, so you really got to work at it a lot.
Right. Well, if there's
something.
anybody that can do it, it's me.
I was going to ask something, and I forgot to double check. I know we're in the middle of the show, but I got to
Ask away.
How's my volume compared to Hunter on the recording end? We're good today? Because I forgot to double check when we started.
Yeah, you're good.
Hello.
It's been good?
Yeah, Everybody's hitting
Okay.
into the yellow.
Okay,
So
cool.
we're good.
Hello.
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
Definitely. And I'm actually for the first time ever just going to do a continuous recording so I don't have to mess with it and I can just focus on the show.
Nice.
So we'll
Sounds
see.
Good.
We'll see how editing works whenever I bring in an hour and 40-minute recording. We'll see.
Yep.
I might be banging my head against the desk come
Yep.
Tuesday or Wednesday. So anyway, this week some pretty good information going down the pike. Some stuff there's not a lot just because I think people are saving up for E3. I think that's kind of maybe what's going on. But
I'm laughing about down the pike.
I
That's all
know.
I'm laughing about.
That's
I know we've been past that.
How
We've been
many
over it.
episodes ago was that?
I don't know. 3 or 4 at least.
God, makes me feel
Clint's still
old.
throwing it out just to put it in our face.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just something I like to say. But yeah, it gives me a little, a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. So
Try not
anyway,
to move around in that chair. It's making a lot of creaking noises.
yeah, you
Really
too.
popping.
You too, by the way, Ryan. I'm going to kill both of you.
I can't even lean back. Even if I just lean to the side, it's like.
Oh, I was talking to you. I thought just now, Clint. I was trying to get onto you because you're always getting on us. Clint's always busting our nuts, guys. Just so you know, because of our chairs squeaking and creaking, and we try to do our best to mute it when we move. But man, we're poor. It's just the way things go. We got some pops and creaks.
Clinton can hear a mouse peeing on a cotton ball.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry,
I think
you're forgiven.
if chairs weren't so stinking expensive, I would buy you guys one.
Yeah.
For the show, but they're
I want one of those PewDiePie chairs.
For a good one, they're a little pricey.
Yeah,
the gaming
is $3.99.
Yeah, I was about to say the gaming chairs are like $300 to $400. I'm not gonna drop that on the chair. not right now, at least. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, moving on to the news. A buddy of ours, Ethan, sent me this today, and I just had to report on it. I thought it was interesting. So this is related to Steam. I know we've talked about it before. Steam is a PC store where you buy and download games, and you have your own games library.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan, I'm sorry for you and for any other Android users out there. This probably isn't going to apply to you. And matter of fact, I didn't even think to look up and see if Android has a Steam app. So if you guys want to let me know.
You want me to look it up real quick?
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep talking. I'll look it up.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
That'd definitely be nice.
I know Apple probably does not have Steam app.
Mm-hmm. So Steam initially, I think it was
Android does have a Steam app.
They do have a
cool.
Steam app.
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, then Apple is just now jumping on the bandwagon. Then
Okay.
last year around this time, Valve revealed that Apple had rejected their Steam link for the App Store. Apple apparently thought that the app would violate their store within a store app store guideline. So they rejected it last year. So I guess they've been working with Apple trying to get this thing going. So officially, Steam Link has been approved for iOS and Apple TV. It allows Steam players to access their library of games while connected to their host Mac. This allows users to stream their existing Steam games via iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV.
Okay.
Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah. So here's
Welcome to the team.
Yep.
Apple.
So here's how Valve explains the app. They say the Steam Link app brings desktop gaming to your iPhone or iPad. You just pair an MFI or Steam controller to your device, connect to a computer running Steam on the same local network, and start playing your existing Steam games.
Okay, so it's a network connection. It's you're not actually running Steam on that computer. You're running it from the other computer.
But
and watching it on that device.
Streaming it to that device. Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. So yeah,
that's getting so much more popular.
It would technically not be that there's a store in a store because you're just streaming it.
Right.
Yes.
Right. I think that's how they're getting around it.
I think that's a gray area though, because what about all those apps you can buy on Apple that have micro purchases in them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. There's
that's trash. There's a lot of games you get that are like, oh, you can buy this, for $1.99. You can buy it.
But I bet Apple's getting a piece of that, so it's not separate. It's not a separate store within a store. They're probably getting a piece of all those little.
I guess it makes
So
sense.
that's probably they're getting their cut. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway,
We're speculating, guys. We're guessing.
We are.
Yeah,
we
that's
are.
not.
But
It's not
interesting.
factual.
Interesting news for Steam Link. Pretty cool stuff. Also, Microsoft, and we got some Microsoft and Sony news, guys. And this one kind of
Are
took
they
me
gonna
by
kill each other?
surprise. Well, that's what you would think, right?
Yeah.
This news broke today. I saw this article was posted at 11:40 a.m. today. I was actually at lunch and saw this, and I was like, I have to report on this. So, for years, for basically the past 15 years, Microsoft and PlayStation been battling it out. But now, with things shifting, Microsoft and Sony unveiled a surprising partnership. Yep, where the companies are collaborating to develop future cloud solutions for game and content streaming services.
That's where we're going, boys.
Yeah.
It's about that time.
So it was a big surprise for fans of both Xbox and PlayStation. Bloomberg reports that the agreement even shocked Sony's own PlayStation team, which apparently wasn't made aware of the discussions.
Really?
Talks between the firms have been ongoing since last year, and Sony has started to show it's open to working with Microsoft and others.
Wow. That's awesome. I love it.
The
I
announcement
love it.
The announcement seems to have been prompted by one thing in particular, which is something we've talked about, guys. Google's reveal of its Stadia cloud streaming service.
Stadia, I think. I think it's Stadia.
Stadia. So they are.
So they're
They
saying,
had an
oh, crap, we
extreme
don't,
fear.
They're
we don't
basically
want to get stomped
Yeah.
Yeah.
by Google.
Yeah.
They have an extreme
That's-
fear of getting left out.
Yep.
Guys,
But
there-
this is
there's
what you want
companies
right
out
here.
there- Oh, yeah. That's called capitalism. I love it. Okay? There's companies out there, guys, that take other small companies and stomp them like the cockroaches they are. Okay? If you ever watch Shark Tank, that bald dude is always saying that. They're
Yeah.
just going to take you and stomp you like the cockroach you are.
Yeah.
Google takes companies that are huge companies and turns them into cockroaches so they can stomp them.
Yep.
So
or,
it's
the,
a whole
or they
nother-
just buy them out. Either way.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you don't have to be a cockroach to get stomped by Google. Google is so big that if they're stepping in your field, you better figure something out.
Yep.
And so, yeah. But I'm excited for the Google Stadia, too. I mean, it sounds like,
Yeah.
it may be like the big new deal. You know what I mean? So,
Could this be another golden age of gaming?
yes, we may
i.e.
be making
cloud-
a shift here.
Cloud service, you know?
We've been wanting it. We've been wanting it for years. Listen, I was going to say, though, this is just random, but I'm going to throw it out there. This Christmas season that's coming up, I am setting a goal to save specific money to get consoles, being the Xbox and the PlayStation, of current time. And so I can have everything, my
Okay.
PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And I'll be in like Flynn. I'm committed
like
to
it.
this thing for you guys.
I like
Sweet.
it. I like it. We need to look
That
at the
means I'm
news,
gonna
though.
have to commit too.
If they announce a new console, though, I would say hang on to your Christmas money
Yeah.
and put it towards the newest one that's coming out. Does that make sense?
That's why I said I'm going to go for whatever's the most current one.
Okay.
I'm not going to get whatever the old one is because I know if I get the old one, just 2 weeks later, Clint will have the new one. I'm not playing that game. So I'm getting the new one.
I'll do what it takes. Yeah. So it also says while Sony has offered its own PlayStation Now streaming service for years, it hasn't dramatically changed since launch. Sony still makes most of the PlayStation revenue through game sales to console owners, and that business looks increasingly under threat. So Google, Microsoft, and Amazon are among the few companies that have enough cloud experience and server power to make cloud gaming a reality in the future. He goes on to say that Sony has now turned to Microsoft for help instead of competitors like Google or Amazon. Sony and Microsoft's deal could have been a simple one to host Sony's services on Azure, Microsoft's cloud platform, but the agreement looks even deeper than that. The two companies will explore joint development of future cloud solutions in Microsoft Azure to support their respective game and content streaming services.
I like it. It's a small step, but it's a big. I'm in.
Right, it's huge for PlayStation because we know that PlayStation, even on cross-platform, hasn't been,
Oh yeah, they're playing hardball.
For a while they stayed real silent about whether they, what they wanted to do with it. So,
But PlayStation's also the only one who hasn't announced some kind of platform on the computer that's coming. Microsoft has already said we're doing that. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure we even heard about Nintendo talking about something like that a few weeks back. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. But I think Nintendo said they're moving into some kind of a connected cloud thing that's on your computer too for some games. But and they're doing the Switch. You know what I mean? They're trying to become more mobile and more all that stuff. But
Right.
Well, PlayStation Now is only on the console itself, right? I
right,
mean,
that's it. Yep.
Yeah. And it's really more. I've played. That's what I played that rugby game on. I subscribed to it for a couple months, and it's really just old PS3 games, PS2 games. Like it's not like the new stuff that you could pull up on your phone. You know.
Right. They also go into talking about the hardware that powers devices like the Xbox One S and the PlayStation 4. And placing it in data centers. They're talking about the two, and I'm just kind of summarizing what this article says. This is, by the way, guys, this is on TheVerge.com. You can find it. Just Google it. I'll put the URL in the links for you. We're actually also, just real quick while it's on my mind, we're going to be updating the website. And so episode by episode is actually going to have, each episode have its own page. And I plan on putting all these links on that so that it's just more accessible to you guys as you listen to the show. You can figure out what links we got things from and that kind of thing.
We're trying to find a way to do transcription of the show too, so it'll be in a blog format for those who are wanting to read it or maybe hearing impaired, things like that. Yep. So we're trying to go that direction also.
Yep.
Hey, Rodney on Facebook said, Hunter, you do need to get more committed. You suck. So I think I added the you suck part, but it felt good.
I like it.
I wonder which Rodney that is.
That is Rodney Venable.
Rodney Venable.
That's my dad.
That's your pops. Well, it's good. It's good to know your dad's thinks you need to be more committed. I agree.
Well, I wonder if he would like to donate a little bit of money towards my computer fund.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Dad, Hunter wants to let you know, if you weren't listening earlier, that he blames you for all of his fears in life. Back when you used to play scary games.
Yep. Resident Evil
at night.
Specifically.
I don't have fears anymore. I just used to be, a little baby about that. And he'll say the same thing.
That's what I'd say too if I was a grown man.
Wow. Says the one wearing a dress currently.
Yeah.
Yes. See, no fear though. That just proves my point.
I told you to wear a bra and you didn't do it. Now it's just
they're not saggy.
Now it's just boobs all over the screen.
They're up here. Little cleavage for you.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness! Wow. I can't see that because I'm looking at my news article right now.
Okay.
Oh goodness!
Hey, this is the news article. That's for sure.
Okay, so also, guys, this is just a really good article here. You should go and read it.
Wow.
But they go into talking about how the devices are actually built similar. That the next, basically, they're noticing this trend of they're having similar hardware. Very
of course,
similar
the computers.
Hardware.
They're doing the same as the phones now, right? There's just a couple differences, but the main components are going to be whatever the top of the line components are.
Well, hold that thought, because here's what they're saying here in the article. They're suggesting that the similar hardware, the aligning of the hardware, is going to make it easier, far easier, for game developers to target common cloud platform and test game performance. Meaning, game developers aren't going to have their own development of this for this and this for this.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be. I can make it, and it works for both.
And so it's going to be better for both. This collaboration of making it work. But
I'm sure they're going to keep their name on it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They'll still have their own service, but the thing is,
they won't have to change development as much. They'll be able to have across the board the same development.
Like if I'm a game developer, I don't have to drastically change my football game for Xbox and for PlayStation. They don't have to be as separate, if that makes sense. It'll be more like a computer game, where it works for all types of computer games.
Yeah, you save it in this format or save it in this format, but really the game is the same.
Yep.
Yep.
There's also been rumors that have just suggested that Microsoft and Nintendo have been forming a closer relationship in recent months.
Maurice, I lost the competition. Were you not here last week, man? Sorry to interrupt, but Maurice said, what am I looking at, bro? Yeah. Hey, Hunter put on a game trivia last week, and the loser had to wear a dress. I know that's not what you wanted to join in and see first thing, but it is what it is, buddy. It is what it is.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So rumors have suggested that both Microsoft and Nintendo have been forming a closer relationship as well in recent months. And evidence of this that they're pointing to is the game Cuphead. I don't know if you guys have ever played this game. It looks freaking sweet. I'd love to get it. It's but I think it's Xbox exclusive. But it's a 2D. Looks like an old 50s and 60s cartoon, like kind of the old Mickey Mouse or old Looney Tunes, like way back in the day. That old animation style.
You did show me the preview of it. It looked really good.
Yeah, that's what Cuphead is. Well, apparently they released it on. It's going to be arriving on the Switch, and it's going to have Xbox Live. It's going to have Xbox Live support.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Cool.
and so they're working. Xbox's or Microsoft's working with Nintendo to promote cross-play gaming. So,
Hey, I tell you what, guys. Switch is really, I kind of fell off the map with Wii. Just being honest, I thought Wii was kind of gimmicky, and I didn't like it much at all.
Mhm.
And I didn't like many of the games on it. I thought the titles were kind of, it was kind of family and kid only. Like, I think they went too far that direction, and that's why they fell off. The Switch is really making a switch. No play on words, huh?
yeah,
But
yeah.
they are really taking. Of course, you got to compare them to the fact that the other consoles have been out a while. So of course, Switch is going to be selling more consoles.
Yeah.
But Switch has been selling like crazy and outselling both Xbox and PlayStation by a long haul for this last year. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to kind of see them come back into play. And
I was gonna
you're
say it's
getting a lot
almost-
of big names.
Yeah, it's Nintendo's swan song, as you would say, showing that they may not be on the cutting edge of graphics with PlayStation and Xbox, but they're definitely competing with a system that's portable and has games that are good. They're beefy. They're worth buying and playing.
But from what I've seen, the graphics are way better.
Oh yeah,
Like
for
they've
sure.
stepped up big time.
For sure. Definitely. So I agree 110%. And with that said, we're just going to go right into some Nintendo Switch stuff since we're talking about it. I feel like I had my other story prepared, but I think this makes more sense right now. So
Maurice said I ain't about that life, but thank you for following through.
you demand. Oh, goodness. So we're now going to talk about some Nintendo news for you guys.
Oh,
And,
nice.
So basically what we're going to hit up is I wanted to kind of touch on, I don't have a Nintendo Switch, but I would like to get one. So, if I'm coming into this atmosphere, what games on Nintendo Switch should we be watching out for? And so I hit up an article on techradar.com. And so they give you a list of what they think is some of the best games that you need to be hitting up.
Okay.
So, anyway, so I was going to give you the list, and you guys, we can talk about it if you want. Anyway, so let's hit it up. So the first one they have on the list is Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Oh,
Of course.
Yep.
Like, just that game for me is like, I wish Blockbuster still existed and you could go rent the console. Do you guys
Yeah.
remember those days? 'Cause
Yeah.
I would definitely go rent a Switch for the weekend and have some fun just for that game.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I want a Nintendo console ever.
Super
ever.
Smash Bros.
And I played that. I don't know if you guys have played it, but I played it over at my friend Derek's house, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
It made me feel. It makes you feel kind of. I don't know. The Brawl was the best one to me. And then we had the one on the Wii come out, which was decent. And this is kind of like a mixture of them, but they mixed it in a good way. So
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it says here it packs in more fighters, more stages, and more gameplay modes, and more tactical elements of any game in the franchise.
Nice.
This is, for all intents and purposes, the definitive Super Smash Bros. With everything that it entails.
Nice.
So if you're looking for a Switch game for the whole family, that is the one to get.
I gotta try it. I gotta try it.
Yep,
John's got a Nintendo Switch, a buddy of mine. He lives over in another city, we get to fish together, but I do see him more and more often. And so I'm going to have to, maybe we just have a day we go over for like a grill out / Nintendo Switch get together.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to really get some feedback on that thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Do that. Report back to us. Let us know. They also have listed Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, it was Mario Kart 8 was on the Wii U, which was one of its best entries, but they have this deluxe version that does some DLC tracks and different things like that. And so it's great for multiplayer. It's really good to play online and split screen with 4 other people. You can link up to 8 consoles together to play multiplayer wireless.
Nice.
So that's pretty sweet. So yeah, looks really good. Definitely something to check out. And then New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
What's that?
This is a take on, from what I can see, it looks like a smash up of the old Super Mario 2D platformer.
Really?
What it looks like, yeah. So the new Super Mario Bros. Deluxe U Deluxe resurrects an underappreciated platforming star on Switch, bringing Nintendo's signature charm, a scalable challenge based on the characters you play as, and it sits up there with the best 2D Mario games ever released. Whether you pick it up on the Nintendo Switch or are inspired to dust off your old Wii U console, it deserves to be played. So
sounds like it's its own game, though. Sounds like it's like the old 2Ds, but it's its own game.
Yeah, it's its own game. It's updated
cool.
graphics.
Yeah.
It's its own thing. You got Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee, I think is what it is. I'm not a big Pikachu person, so.
I heard Donkey Kong's coming back out. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called. I think it's
crazy.
Donkey Kong Jr. I think it's called Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I think we talked about it last week about the NES titles.
Yes,
They're gonna be
that's
downloadable.
right.
Yeah. Yep. So that's coming. They also have Octopath Traveler. So if you're a fan of the old school 16-bit RPGs, wish they could get an HD facelift without losing the pixel-perfect magic of the 90s era, Octopath Traveler may be the Nintendo Switch game you dreamed of for a time machine for kids. Yeah.
That sounds cool.
So yeah, it's like an old classic RPG game.
If I remember right, too, a lot of these you can play a lot of the old Nintendo games downloadable on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the old ones that everybody loves, the retro games.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a way you can play those on the Switch from what I...
like emulator? Like you can hack it or something?
No, I think that there's some games that are made for that. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I have to double check that, but I remember coming across something maybe like a month ago that was talking about some of those games, and basically you don't have to do the emulator if you had a Switch, somebody was saying. So I'll double check into it, but I'm pretty sure you can.
You also have Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. So Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is a real gem in the Nintendo Switch game pile. Well, it basically offers, it's a action puzzle game that puts you in the shoes of Mushroom Kingdom's most lovable sidekick. While puzzles are a bit on the easier side for older kids who might be playing pint-sized adventures, will have to use their noodle to collect items without running into paths of enemies. It's good, clean, IQ-enhancing fun, which is the best kind of fun.
I like those kind of games. That sounds fun for sure.
So
now, there's another game I know a lot of people play that they like a lot. What's it called? I don't think it's just specific to Switch, but it is a popular one on Switch. What's it called? Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the name of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's on other consoles too, right? Kingdom Hearts.
That's on I know it's on PlayStation 4. Is that on Xbox?
I think it is. I've never played it, but I think it is.
Yeah. Then we also have listed on here Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. So if you haven't got that, that's on the Nintendo Switch.
I did not know that.
That'd be the perfect game for Nintendo Switch.
Now that I say Kingdom Hearts is on Switch, I feel like I might be wrong. I think it was somebody talking to me, and it might have been John talking to me about it. He might have been talking about Xbox, because he's got both the Switch and the Xbox. So now I'm going to look that up so I don't sound like an idiot. I already do.
Yeah,
Go ahead and keep going.
Do that, Ryan. Do that. There's also Mario Tennis Aces, so the Mario Tennis game. And then Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
I'm surprised about the the Crash Bandicoot, because that's a Naughty Dog production, which is mainly PlayStation.
Well, apparently not anymore.
Wow.
Well, because Naughty Dog
they made
isn't... Naughty Dog's not the ones that remade it, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a different company that came in. Naughty Dog was the original company that made the titles.
Gotcha. Because Naughty Dog also made Drake's Uncharted. And that all those were just PlayStation exclusives, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We've talked about that a little bit on the show.
Another one that I would just get the Switch for.
And then Super Mario Odyssey, the original that came out with the launch of the Switch. So some really good games. Like, I'm really sitting here thinking, like, what's it going to take for me to get a Switch now? Because I think me and Claire and Mikkel and the family could really enjoy having a Nintendo Switch around the house.
Okay, so Nintendo Switch has had the Kingdom Hearts series in the past. Or not Nintendo Switch, but Nintendo, right? It's been on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. But number 3 did not come out on the Switch for some reason. I think it was just built in a different way that doesn't work quite right with the Switch. I have to read the article more, but I guess from what I see here, it did not come out on the Switch. So I'm sure there were some people disappointed then, because there was a following on Nintendo for the old ones. Yeah. So that's surprising.
Okay. I had that video going the whole time, and so it was just showing all the games playing. That's funny. I forgot to take it down while I was reading the article. Oh, well.
No big deal.
Yeah, no biggie. Okay, so moving on to our last little news part. And this one we'll go a little quicker on probably because I don't have a list to read. I don't know, not everybody plays MMOs, but anybody who's anybody knows that World of Warcraft is the most successful, biggest MMO that's ever existed, I would say. I'm betting my money on that, right? I mean, it was something that Blizzard, it's what made Blizzard Entertainment. They put millions of dollars into this thing and, didn't know if it was going to work back in 2014. They just threw everything into this, and it's pretty much made their company. I mean, now they have games like Overwatch and Diablo. Not that Diablo didn't exist before, but we know, World of Warcraft was the one that gave them the funds to kind of branch out and do more, and that game's still going. That game is going to be, it's 15 years old right now, and still has current expansions. Probably will have a new expansion announced at BlizzCon here coming up in November. I think it's late October, early November, something like that. I'm sure they're probably going to announce something big for it. But
most other MMOs have completely gone to free to play.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only one that can still is still asking for subscriptions and still making money. But a lot of the hardcore fans or a lot of the original fans, at 15 years, people start waning on what they enjoy, and the company takes different steps in different directions, and do things that, you can't please everybody. So as World of Warcraft has grown, it has catered to the more casual player, the Ryan of the world who doesn't have time to sink hours and hours and hours into a game. So they made it more accessible.
Well, a lot of their players have become Delirious Dads.
Yeah.
Right? They were single guys in college and things like that and all that. And now they're family dads and they still want to play World of Warcraft, but they can't if it's as in-depth and involved as it used to be. So I think it's a smart move. I mean, there's probably some dedicated young guys and guys that are, just really still all about gaming and can be, who don't like the Switch. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I know they don't like some of the partnership stuff that's gone on.
Right.
But I think overall they probably made a good choice.
Yeah. Well, they recently, like last year, I believe it was one of their big announcements, is they are bringing back World of Warcraft Classic.
Oh, really?
So now you're gonna get the best of both worlds. If you have World of Warcraft, you can play the current version of World of Warcraft, the current expansion. But it's official. They came out and announced August 27th of this year, they will be releasing World of Warcraft Classic Vanilla.
Now, hold on. Time out. Time out. Does that mean we're just going to go back to this old thing that's not updated and doesn't have expansions? Or does that mean they're going to go back to, we're going to make expansions with the old style of play and expansions on this one with the new style of play?
As of right now, the goal is to only do the original classic WoW. They're not going to do like the Burning Crusade expansion or anything like that.
Okay.
The idea is they want to, for the people that want that original experience, that hardcore, like you just dumped in this world and don't know what's going on. That experience.
Can't you just do that by not doing the expansions?
No,
Wouldn't that leave you with the old game?
Because they've added so much interface to the game. They've
Okay.
added things like Dungeon Finder where I can just queue up and it puts me with 4 other people.
Gotcha.
And automatically puts me in.
Even the way it runs now and stuff is different.
Right, yeah. All the updates they've done to it, it's just not even the same game.
Gotcha.
It has similar gameplay style, but the graphics have been updated. Zones have been totally changed. So they're taking it all the way back. It's going to be the version 1.12. It's the game from 2004, guys.
Really?
So, yep. And so they're basically going to start it out just like launch date, and then they're going to roll out content just like they did back during original WoW.
Yeah, but with that style on it, without changing the style.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Yep. And so this, if you already own the game, it's not an extra charge to you. You just keep paying your subscription, and when it launches, you'll have your classic WoW servers that you go to, and it plays classic WoW.
So you get to play both.
Yep. So for them, it's a big coup, I think, because all those people that have left the game are going to want to come back and play that original.
It's a good idea.
Original grind. So
good business. Good business.
Yep. So that's coming out August 27th, guys. They are putting out beta invites if people are interested.
Yes, I'm in a dress.
So you just gotta
Anybody new who's joined us, I'm in a dress because I lost a competition. I'm wearing a dress because we had a game show on the last episode last week, and the loser had to wear a dress. So I'm in one in all of its glory, and yes, I'm a man of my word. I should not have taken the wager because I knew I was going to lose this one, really, and so it's like I volunteered to wear a dress, pretty much.
Well,
pretty much.
Clinton was nice to you because he skipped out on the nipple waxing one.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I would prefer to wear the dress than wax the nipples, so I'm cool.
So I'm putting up the announcement trailer of Classic WoW. I did just want to cover some funny things that are happening. So people are now going into the beta, doing the stress test to prepare for the launch. And it's funny because people have started reporting bugs. And so Blizzard has actually had to come out and say, no, these are not bugs. It's
because it's the old game.
It's because it's the old game, and we did not plan on taking out a deal. So Blizzard basically came out and released a not a bug list to clear up any misconceptions.
That's funny.
So a Tauren's hitboxes and their melee reach is slightly larger than other races. That's not a glitch. That's the way it was made. Let's see. Quest objectives and points of interest are not tracked on the map or mini-map. People forgot that wasn't included in the original game.
That's good.
Completed quests are not marked on the mini-map with a dot and not a question mark. So just some of the good stuff, like I think people forget what wasn't in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Quests that are too low.
There's a lot of people that joined partway in, like halfway, and they're like, I don't like the new stuff, and now they're going, before they ever started, they're going back further.
Right. It says here, quests that are too low level do not show up as an exclamation point in the game world, meaning it's not going to tell you. So, yeah. And then available quests do not display as an exclamation point on your mini-map anymore. That was never a thing back in 1.12. So anyway, just some funny stuff that people are like, hey, my game's messed up. No, that's
what you asked for.
That's what you asked for. That's
That's
so
good.
Anyway, the game has changed dramatically, but I'm kind of excited to try it and just jump back into an old world that we thought was long dead. So should be interesting. But anyway, that's going to conclude the news. and we're going to roll right into some food because I know you guys are working up an appetite.
Hey.
We're going to let Hunter take that away.
What's cooking good looking? Master Chef at home, listening wherever you are. What's cooking good looking?
All right, so we're ready for Hunter to present the food.
All right, well, I got a short and sweet one today, guys, so I'm not going to keep you for very long. It's short and sweet, it's easy, and it's to impress also. It's kind of exotic.
So basically it's just like me.
Yeah, short, sweet, but it's impressive. I like it.
Yeah, and exotic.
And exotic. Keep wearing those dresses, and yeah, we'll see some exotic. But so today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite cuisines. I love Asian fusion, and I love Chinese food. I love Japanese food. I love Thai food. Today we're going to talk about a Thai curry. That's easy. It's a one-pot dish. You know, if you're not including the rice, because you got to make some rice with your curry.
Oh yeah.
But
it's not a curry if there's not, you know.
Right, one pot dish, easy peasy. I'm gonna go through how I want to do this is we need to get better about I need to get better about sending Clinton, or even just posting it myself on the website, the recipes that I come up with on here.
Yeah.
But today I'm not gonna go into like every little detail about how much of this and how much of that. I'm gonna tell you how it's made. A good chef gets to the point where he can just eye it. So I'm going to go through.
Speaking of which, when do you want me to show him the good chef?
Oh, go for it right now.
Go for it?
Yeah, let's show him the good chef. This is what you'll be saying after you make this curry.
All right, guys, you gotta check this out. Okay, here we go.
It's the video for those of you not watching live.
Right, video for those not watching live. I guess I should specify that. Okay, here we go.
Oh God, it's so good. So good. So good and tasty.
Wow. So there you go, guys. There you go.
That's it. So this dish is going to have you going, right?
I feel like I'm going to extract that audio and put it in the audio podcast because that's just too good not to have.
You should just put it right after take a little clip of it, just the end one that's really dramatic, and after the good, what's cooking good looking segment, just put the right there.
Yeah.
And then we'll be good.
That was like a cross between you and Ryan. The reason I say between you and Ryan is because he had that younger look to him, but then he was fat like Ryan.
Wow.
Thanks.
He's got to throw it in there. Every episode he's got to throw the fat shade. Somehow.
Every episode.
I'm pretty sure my dress is throwing fat shade, so we're good.
Hey, it looks slimming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kind of makes the shoulders not look so big, Doesn't do anything for your boobs, but there you go.
Anywho, so I'm going to structure this in this way. I'm going to go through, tell you guys the ingredients, and then I'm going to tell you which order in which to cook them, kind of how to cook them down to get to your final product. So I'm going to go through. So we're going to use coconut oil. We're going to use medium yellow or white onion, a pound of chicken breast, boneless and skinless.
Could you do a question real quick, not to mess you up? You may say this later. Could you do a rotisserie chicken with this?
Oh, yeah, you can do rotisserie chicken. The thing is that you're going to miss out on, though, is some flavor, because curry packs so much richness in it that you're not going to get that in your chicken that's rotisserie.
If it's already cooked.
If it's already cooked. And if you're throwing it in there, you're going to have to throw it in basically when your curry's cooked, or else you're going to dry your chicken out real bad.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So you can.
Hey, I'm going to say something real quick. I'm going to interject.
Yeah.
For those of you who are newer to the show listening, you're saying, wait a minute, I thought this was a gaming podcast. It's a gaming dad podcast. And as we talked about during my segment earlier about doing things that make deposits, well, making meals and cooking was one of those things. And Hunter's a chef, and so we like to add in easy meals that are amazing that you can make and really earn a bunch of points. So that's what this segment's about, because you're a
Right.
gaming dad and
Yep.
gaming husband. So
Oh, yeah.
just wanted to inform you guys, we're not going to left field here. We're right at home with this meal.
Yeah.
That's right. And even if you're listening and you're not a dad and you're a wife, just curious about this gaming podcast, this is a good recipe to add to the book. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
Or if
yeah.
you're
It's-
the single dude that's been living off ramen,
oh yeah,
take
yeah.
notes, guys.
mix it up. All right, so we got. I'm gonna go through that again. We got coconut oil. We got a medium to large yellow onion or white onion. Gonna do a pound of chicken breast, some garlic, cloves, about 2 to 3, some ginger. I would suggest getting fresh ginger. If
Fresh
you
ginger,
absolutely,
yeah.
if you absolutely just do not know how to work that thing, you're like, ginger is an alien substance, I don't know what to do with that, then it's going to be alright if you get a little dry ginger out of the spice section, okay? You
Just get fresh ginger, guys.
Yeah,
Just get fresh ginger.
I've even left the ginger out. Like, it's okay, but I'm telling you, you're going to miss out on some depth of flavor if you leave that ginger out.
Okay.
We got coconut milk. That's going to be the powerhouse of this dish. This says 1 13-ounce can. I usually grab a couple of those just in case. It's not a bad idea to keep
Okay.
them up there if you don't use them all. It says, like, here, I use just full coconut milk. There's always options to get the lighter one. So if you're not wanting super heavy, you can go lighter coconut milk. But, man, I love the creamy thickness of a curry. So I'm going to use the fat one,
Okay.
Okay, and so here's where it gets a little confusing. For your curry aspect, you can buy curry powder, you can buy red curry powder, you can buy green curry powder, you can buy red curry paste, you can buy green curry paste, you can buy curry already made. All of those things will work. I mean, I'm not going to
Okay.
tell you if you go buy the green curry in a bag. It's kind of weird. It's like Jell-O curry in a bag. It's going to work, but it's not going to be probably as good as you. I always get the curry paste. It's in like a little jar about this big, and you can go green or you can go red. Doesn't matter. I usually do red curry. So you're going to take that red curry paste, or I'm not there yet. Get red curry, green curry, whatever you want. Couple things left on our list here. Salt, pepper to taste, right? And then what I like is a little cilantro or basil. A lot of the times cilantro is used in a curry, but I would advise to use basil in this one because we're going coconut. Coconut
Okay.
sweet, basil sweet. It's going to give you that sweetness and complement each other. So just get you some basil leaves, okay?
And a lot of people
So-
don't like cilantro. It's one of those herbs that a lot of people do like, and then a lot of people go, "Oh, it's got that kind of soap taste." And there's a
It
big
comes on
percentage
strong.
of people. Mhm.
Yeah. It's a very aromatic herb. So
Okay.
is basil, but it's kind of a different perfume. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
It's more tolerable to most people, though. They don't notice it.
yeah. And so there's different ways to cook a curry. I'm sure if a curry master that's from Thailand would hear me talk right now, they're probably gonna be like, "That's not how you cook curry." Oh, one thing I left off: bamboo shoots.
Ooh, bamboo.
I don't know if you've ever cooked with them bamboo shoots that you can buy them like in
Crispy.
the you can buy them in like the Asian section of the market where there's like water chestnuts. I like to do bell pepper in mine and potato because potato soaks up that curry like nothing else, and you can get little flavor bites with it. You
Okay.
can quarter up and cook your own potatoes if you want. But I would not advise it. I just grab the canned potatoes. There's canned potatoes that they've
Okay.
already got diced into nice cubes, and that seem to work
Yeah.
best for me. I don't have to boil them off. They're going to soak up that flavor anyways. They're not going to break down too much. A lot of the times you
Nice.
might cook your potatoes too long, and then you throw them in the sauce for longer, and then they just break down. There's no potato left. It's just mush.
Yep. Mush. Yep.
Gotcha.
So just grab you some canned potatoes, and you can quarter them up by yourself, or they actually make them already diced. So
Sounds good.
so all those veggies are going to go in there. So how we're going to do this is I always start off with cooking off my chicken. I want to make sure I get it done. If I'm throwing it in there with the vegetables, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if it's all done because then you have to sift through and get all your chicken out and test it. So I take my chicken breast, I slice it into strips. You can do quarters, like little cubes if you want, but I find the strips in the curries prettier looking. It seems to get more flavor in there. They're thinner strips. So I strip it. I throw that in there in that coconut oil, cook it. When I think that's done, I'm going to throw my veggies in, and you're going to saute those till they start to get soft. When I say the veggies, I'm talking the onion, the bamboo shoots, the bell pepper,
potatoes,
and your potatoes. Yeah. So all that's going to go in, and you're going to kind of stir it up till those start. The onions and the bell pepper will give it away. When those start getting a little loose and the onions start getting clear, you're good. At that time, you're going to want to pour your coconut milk in. You know, I use 2 because I like a good quantity amount of curry when I make it. You're going to pour your coconut milk in. You're going to let it get to the point where it's about to bubble. And that's important because you want it to heat up enough to where when you put that curry paste in, it's going to dissolve. If you throw it in a cold coconut milk, it's going to take a little longer to dissolve. Try to get it up to a bubble. It's important to keep stirring because this is a dairy, you know, it's a milk, it's a cream. So it's going to burn if you don't stir it. This would be good to have that automatic stir thing that Ryan brought up a couple episodes ago.
Yeah. That can only stir thin fluids.
Yeah, it would not work.
Thin liquids.
But anyway, so we're going to go in with our curry, or after our milk starts bubbling, you're going to go into your curry, you're going to stir it up. I always do this to taste, because of course you're not going to put the whole jar of curry in it. If you struggle with taste, pull up a picture on your phone of a chicken curry, look at the color, and put your paste in until you get that color. Because you don't want, you know, if it's darker, then you probably add a little too much, it's going to be a little powerful. Vice versa, if it's light, still looking white almost for that coconut milk, you don't have enough in there. So go off of that, off of taste. If you ever had a curry before, you'll know just a spoonful of that broth, it, you know, is slamming. So when you get that flavor and color right, then it's time to throw in a little bit of that ginger, the ginger that you have, just at the last, because you don't want to just, I mean, honestly, you could do that when you throw the coconut milk in at any point from there to the end here. But what you want to wait for, the very last, is for sure your basil leaves. Those need to go in at the very last. You don't want to boil the heck out of those either because they're going to turn to nothing. I always wait. I mean, honestly, you could turn the fire off at the end and it's still hot enough to throw your basil leaves in, stir it a couple times and leave it. And then that basil
just so they soften a little bit.
Yeah.
They soften, and then that perfume of the basil comes out in the broth. And man, I tell you what, the depth of flavor you're going to get out of that curry, from the curry paste to the coconut to the basil, and then all your veggies and your protein in there over some rice.
Now, when you're cutting up your ginger, are you shredding it, or are you putting some little slices, or what are we talking here?
Yeah, we want to
using like a cheese grater.
Fine. Yeah, actually, like a mincer or a microplane.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have any of those fancy things, you just use the side of a cheese grater that's got the smaller holes. Just go with that. Okay? Because you do want it real small. You don't want to get a huge bite of ginger. Because that is super strong. It'll burn you a little bit, you know, sometimes. But you want it real fine. So, like I said, I'll do my best. I need to try to get this recipe typed out and put it up on Facebook with a picture.
And we'll try to go over some of the other recipes.
Yeah, I remember them. I remember I need to put them all up there, so we probably have like 5 recipes up there this week or something. But anyways, so I chose this because this is one of my favorites. It's a go-to for me. We're actually making it tomorrow night, and I was just really excited about it and ready to share it.
What time's dinner tomorrow night?
Now, let me say this. As I'm hearing this meal in my head, my mind is saying, drop the chicken and put some big jumbo shrimp in there.
Oh yeah.
And that just sounds really good.
You switch your protein up as much as you want. Surprisingly enough for me, my favorite is beef curry, like having strips of beef in there.
Yes.
So you can do a combo.
Like the kind of little strips that you have in like some pho?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yes.
Really thin sliced. And then, or even like kind of like you'd see in like a skirt steak that you'd make carne asada out of. That works too.
Yeah. Not the Ryan skirt steak, but the good
any of those.
Skirt steak.
If you want to be super fancy and just enjoy your life that day, throw all 3 in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do some chicken, some beef, and some shrimp, and that's what they call it at the restaurants, the combo. you know.
I like that.
Sounds
So.
super good. I'm sitting over here. I wasn't even noticing in the live stream, but I'm smacking my lips. Like I was sitting here, like kind
Were
of
you?
smacking my lips and like licking them. And I didn't know why. And I was like, oh, it's because he's making me hungry. That's good, man. Good
Well,
stuff.
I'm going
that's
to be
it.
heading out to Cali after this tonight, guys.
Ooh.
yeah.
So we'll just want to let you guys know that we're going to be doing the live stream of the next episode on a Wednesday.
Yep.
If you've been used to Mondays, it'll be Wednesday. So I'm going to Cali, going to see some family, going to see my buddy Mike, who I haven't seen forever, and my wife's sister and her husband and their kids. We're going to have a sweet, inexpensive vacation. Staying
Yeah.
at the family's houses, friends' houses,
Yeah.
going to the beach.
Ryan's
And,
gonna
we
dye
need
his
it.
hair blonde. You know,
And I might wear this dress to the beach. I don't know. I feel pretty
There
good.
you go.
it's like your moo. You're like Homer Simpson. That's your little moo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, so that's going to be Wednesday the 29th, guys, next week. And I just realized I'm getting a root canal that day, so we're going to see how I sound. I may be kind of, I don't know, I may need Ryan to lead into that intro if I...
Ooh. You forgot about that, huh?
yeah, I did right when
What-
I looked
what-
at this. Ooh,
What time is your root canal?
3:30.
Okay, well, guys, we'll keep you up to date. If Clint is too tore up, we may do the show Thursday, which would be a really fast edit before the release on Friday, but that
It's
might
like
be what we end up doing.
You pretty much just get the raw version in the audio.
Oh, yeah.
Is what
Yeah.
that means.
Well, guys,
that's
thanks
good,
for
that's good.
joining.
Hey-
Share us, like us, subscribe, all that
Yeah,
good stuff.
to
We
everybody,
appreciate it.
to everybody that's liked and shared, we appreciate it. We're starting to make some strides with new followers here and there, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. I would say, you know, all of us agree to start this for fun. Like, we came into this thinking if we have 2 viewers every time we do it, it's really for us to get together, unload the week, you know, talk about stuff that we love. And it's already exceeded our expectations. We cannot believe the support you guys are putting in for us, and we love you. And just reach out to us, man. I mean, really, if you want to see stuff, if you want segments, if you want whatever it is, let us know, because we are here for you guys, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't
Ryan,
forget, we're about 2 weeks away from having something to give back to you guys for all the support.
definitely,
So stay
definitely.
tuned in.
We are pumped, guys. And so, yeah, stay tuned. We got more for you. We're going to keep rolling out content. The biggest thing is just figuring out how to balance it with our personal lives, because we do have young kids. Hunter's about to have a baby. So, I mean,
And
you know,
jobs that pay money.
yeah, and jobs that pay money. So it's interesting trying to juggle all that plus give you gaming. So we're trying to get more committed about streaming some game stuff. We're going to be hooking Hunter up on some PlayStation streams. I'll try to get on some PlayStation streams with him. And then, we're all three going to try to do PC gaming. It's a little hard because either Ryan or Hunter has to do the stream, the cloud streaming. And so certain games don't work on Ryan's computer, and right now Hunter doesn't have one that's suitable. So
I'm working on it, though.
yeah, it's always interesting, but we are
But we're
dedicated.
trucking forward. We're growing, and it's going to be awesome.
Definitely.
So all I can say is stay delirious.
Stay dadding.
And stay gaming. Soon as I find the outro. This has been a Delirious Dads production. For more information about the show, visit our website at www.deliriousdadsgaming.com. You can also find us on facebook.com/deliriousdadsgaming, twitch.tv, and YouTube. Make sure you like and share our pages to help us grow the channel. You can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please leave a rating and review if you enjoy the show. Thank you again for listening, and we hope to see you next time.